Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. Janet and I have been enjoying ourselves here at Madison Tap, part of Robinia Courtyard on East Washington Avenue, and just found out that it's not within the last couple of months, but within the last week that this place has opened. So very, very new, and we're joined now by the new executive chef for Robinia Courtyard, Mr. Brandon Reid. How are you, Brandon?
Pretty good. Just having a good morning.
Yeah, good. Glad to have you with us. And you were on the restaurant show a couple months back, and it's good to see you in another setting on our network. So.
Yes, doing beer and food again.
There you go. Hey, it follows you around, I suppose.
Yeah.
So recently you opened Madison Tap and Jardin or Jardin or wherever you may come from, whatever part of the world you may come from. Talk to us a little bit about that concept moving forward.
Well, Madison Tap just opened. We're trying to utilize all of the great breweries we have going on in Wisconsin. So if you're familiar with Tap Takeover Week, we decided to take that a step further. And every month we feature a new brewery with some offerings that they might not have. So for an entire month, all of our taps are taken over by another Wisconsin brewery. We also have a bottle list ranging from different Wisconsin beers. Not so much of your domestic, mass-produced stuff. We like to try to keep it more to the craft, local movement. And then to go with that, we wanted to do something a little bit different and do more of your drinking or pub food, but from around the world. So, instead of it just kind of being the same thing as everybody else, Midwest-style food, we wanted to do a little bit of an offering from different parts of the world, keep things fresh.
Yeah, and you really have to do something that kind of sets yourself apart from other folks because, as you say, so many people are doing sort of the Midwestern, pub grub type of thing, and so I think that's great. And you said once a month you have the tap takeover. Every month that changes.
Yep, it'll be once a month. Our first run is Ale Asylum, who we're featuring right now. That one will go a little bit further just because it started in the middle of a month, but then we'll plan them out ahead of time.
Sure.
Hopefully get into some featured dishes featuring the beer. Currently we do have a pork belly special that features one of our Ale Asylum beers, and always try to showcase what the breweries have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Brandon, I'm looking at the food menu here, and these are definitely not your onion rings and
No.
cheese curds kind of a thing. Egg rolls and fried mushrooms, samosas, salmon lox. Does this change with every time there's a different tap takeover?
Actually, probably change even more frequently than that. So we want to really use what our great Wisconsin farmers have around here and just follow the freshness, essentially. So whenever a different fish season comes in, or there's a new herd of livestock being brought on, we want to make sure that we're having everything at the peak of its freshness and showcase what it can do, I guess.
Being the executive chef, this is your baby, right?
Oh yeah. Well, this will be more of our small plates and snack food, and then, as you said, Jardin, which isn't open currently. Basically, it means garden in a few different languages. That will kind of follow a similar concept where it's from all around the world. There isn't any set, Italian restaurant or Spanish restaurant. It'll basically be things that are from anywhere around, just utilizing our Wisconsin produce. And
that's one of the things you mentioned that I like. You used this word twice, freshness. So obviously this is very fresh food, so you're really utilizing local ingredients.
Yeah, we are working with several different farms, trying to stay ahead of where the next crop is going to come through, the next harvest, to make sure that we can plan our menus accordingly and make sure that everything was at the peak of freshness and peak season.
I imagine that has to be a lot of planning ahead, because knowing when the crop's going to come in, how good it's going to be, and that sort of thing, you really have to kind of have your ducks in a row.
Well, it's a newer thing that's actually happening in a lot of restaurants around America, is where we're so used to as chefs and as restaurants of menu planning and thinking of things so far in advance that by the time you actually release a menu, you may have already passed what you're trying to make. So what I'll be trying to get into with myself and the line cooks and the owners is actually letting the ingredients write the menu for you.
Oh, okay.
So whenever you start getting, when your farmers start dropping off their harvests, that's when the menu planning starts.
Okay, that's an interesting concept.
It is. Actually, that is neat, and I love that everything is local. So the beer on tap is all the local breweries, and so is the food. Is Garden or Hardin or Jardin, I think is what you called it.
That's the easiest one. Otherwise, it means the same thing in several languages.
Yeah.
So
Is that a separate restaurant, or is it just referring to the Courtyard?
it's a separate restaurant. That's what a julep used to be. Anyone that's visited the Robinia Courtyard, that'll be more the fine dining, wine and craft cocktail. Then over here you have all of the local beer, and then you have our cafe that uses local coffee roasters and everything. So you kind of get all three.
So the three entities then are Black Locust Cafe, the Madison Tap, and then the Jardin.
Precisely.
Okay,
right.
got it.
There you
Okay,
go.
it's all coming together now.
Yeah, it's all coming together for us, which is awesome. I want to ask you a couple of questions. Obviously, you guys are blessed with a great courtyard out back to host different events and so forth. How can people, are you hosting parties right now? And how can people get signed up for something like that or reserve the space?
We are taking, future endeavors into, I guess, taking orders, so to speak.
Sure.
So we have a few parties, a couple weddings planned out there.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's it's a patio when we're not hosting parties, but we do really want to utilize the beautiful courtyard, and so we're really going to hit the garden theme hard. We've had a lot of planners and gardeners starting to bring in things to really get it nice and green and lush out there. The trees are just starting to bud.
It's good timing right now.
Yeah, very good timing. Very good timing. And a garden, you mentioned a courtyard garden as well.
Yeah, we're also going to get some of our fresh herbs from out there. Not so much the produce side, but we will have a lot of different varieties of flowers, plants, trees, really trying to keep it lush and green out there to make you feel like you're part of the whole garden experience.
Yeah, the
That
garden
sounds great.
experience. That's very cool. And real quick before we go, I think you wanted to mention something about community outreach. You guys do some outreach efforts as well.
I've been speaking with some other chefs and some other bar managers where we want to keep the restaurant business fun for everyone, not only ourselves but the patrons. So we'll have guest bartenders, guest chefs, where we work together to utilize our space and essentially just throw a really big, enjoyable party where everyone gets to try something new from places they might not have been before.
Showcase
cool.
Showcase talents or specialties.
That's you're kind of cooperating versus competing, it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's a really good atmosphere. That's very cool. Well, Brandon, Reid, thank you so much for having us here today and for giving us an education about what's going on here at Robinia Courtyard, and we look forward to seeing how those changes evolve as we continue to come and film Wisconsin Family here.
All right. Thank you for stopping in.
And that's all the time we have for Wisconsin Family. We'll see you next time.
Clap your hands.